While I'm sitting there, I'm trying to figure out.
I need to show these.
Are you going live on Facebook also? I see.
Yeah, so I linked this to my Facebook, Magic's Facebook, and Magic's YouTube.
Okay, hold on. Let me see.
Should we show these? No, let me not show them yet. Let's not go to the comments yet.
There you go.
But I believe that we are on. Just gonna let some people ring in here.
Yeah,
a little bit. So yeah, man, did you watch the show?
I did not. Actually, I had one of my boys was supposed to be on our guest, and he wasn't on there, so we was like, we ain't gonna watch it. But secretly, I kind of look at certain episodes because it's always interesting to see people that's from your city that's on TV. One, right, and then I really was interested in seeing if it was gonna be cheesy. I mean, I didn't really know what to expect, but all the love shows normally are really cheesy to me. I feel like they do too much extreme, pretending, so to speak. But I felt like I seen like one half of the episode, bro, in all honesty. But what I saw I felt like was genuine. I didn't, you know what I mean?
I just wanted to watch the show. I didn't know how popular, the show.
Yeah. No, it's out here. I think more women. Well, it might be some dudes also that watch it. I think I know more women that watch it.
Yeah, it's a great show. But listen, for those that are tapped in right now, I don't know what the YouTube is looking like, but welcome to Who Pays What. I just wanted to have this conversation and talk about this because it has been a hot topic on Friday's episode of Ready to Love, where if spoiler alert, if you have not watched it, I mean, it's Tuesday now. You should have been watching it by now. But I was eliminated on Friday, and it had to do with this comment that I made about who should take what in the finances. Now, I'm willing to die on this financial hill for the sake of the show and for entertainment purposes. Having said that, it's not how it went. I mean, the order of what I said, like, it's not how it went. They edited it. It's called scripted reality. So, of course, they're going to use the thing that is going to cause the most controversy. And clearly, this one is. So, when talking about finances and when she asked me what I thought about finances, I answered, if you all probably saw the clip that's floating around, that it's a conversation. First thing I said, it's a conversation. And then I gave 11,000 different examples on how finances should be handled. And, they chose the one that was going to get it going. Now, here's my argument. And first, and let me introduce, we got a financial guru here, Mr. Ryan Akers, Money Matters Institute.
Yes, sir.
Here. His book is out right now.
Yes, sir.
And so here are my two arguments on what I said on the show.
Okay.
One, respectfully, women, respectfully, you all need to figure out, you as an individual, you as a woman need to figure out which lane you want to go in. If you want it to be the old school way, even though there is an attempt to dismantle patriarchy, and you benefit from the structures of patriarchy, i.e., daddy bringing home the bacon, I'm frying it, okay? Or if you're going to be on that side, the independent boss chick trying to dismantle patriarchy, decide that. Or if you want to be the traditional woman and have the benefits of the patriarchy, what I just said, daddy bring home the bacon and you frying it. And people go to the Bible, all of that. And I get it. I grew up in the church. Like, I absolutely get it. Of course, a man is supposed to provide and protect
Mhm.
and take on the heavier part of the bills. But it's a new day, and depending on which generation you're in,
Right.
if I put Generation X in the middle, if you go down to the boomers and on, it's the traditional way, Ryan. And then with
Definitely.
X still being in the middle, if you go Y and Z, they are no. I'm contributor. I got my own. I don't
Yeah.
need. That's
I,
yeah. We
I
are.
got my bag already.
So it depends on which end of the spectrum you are generationally, and if you are a Gen Xer, which side you fall on that fence. So that's one thing, ladies. You need to determine what role you want and on the benefits of which. Okay. Second, and Ryan, I'm sure that you can speak to this more.
Yes, sir.
For you, ladies, how does this benefit you financially on in the long run if your husband is paying for everything? Let's say you all are together 10, 15, 25, however many years, and you decide that you want to start your own business. You go to the bank ain't showing you no love or nothing because your credit is dormant because your husband is paying for everything. I mean, maybe I don't know whose name is on the
On the
deed of the
bills,
house
right?
on paperwork. None of that. So now you can't start your business because the bank ain't messing with you because your credit has been dormant for the time that you have been married because your husband has been taking care of everything. And then where are you? Back to your husband to get whatever it is that you need to start whatever. And part of your independence is taken. So again, it's generationally. On that one, on the ladder,
Mhm.
uh, do I kind of make a point? Like, am I hitting something?
Well,
Am I close to something on that last one?
you're saying the truth. I think that the harsh reality right now for us individuals, like you just said, well, you made a good point. Let me put back. You did make a good point, and you separated the generations because definitely generationally things have changed, right? When our parents grew up, or my parents for sure, my dad was the breadwinner. Period. It was like the woman was the housemaker, right? My grandparents, vice versa. Um, Fortunately for myself, I was able to see my mother work. She didn't have to work, but it was one of those things where she wanted to have her own money, right? And it was actually when you talk to my mom, she would tell you that she was doing this to assist my father so that he didn't feel like the weight of the world was on his shoulders, right? So she can have her little money here and there or whatever. But I think a lot of I will call it foundation in relationships is built with communication, and that starts everything. And so if you're going to be with a person, no matter the age bracket, and your expectations of said person, right? Or said relationship, it needs to start at the ground level. And I think a lot of times we just she's fine, he's fine. Let's connect. We don't really get, I mean, into the skinny of everything until it's too late. And then now you're stuck with a person that doesn't even have the same views as you. You know what I mean? Because if you get with somebody and you know that if you're the traditional alpha male, as you spoke of, and you like, I pay for everything. My wife does nothing. You know what I'm saying? Okay, that's good if the woman that you're with fits that mold, right? But if you are the gentleman that's kind of what's the Renaissance man type of guy, right? You're like, hey, we can do this together. Let's build this team together. I got half, you got half. And I just had this conversation earlier when I was speaking. And one of the things about it is, you could, for the man, it's like we're the weight is on our shoulders. And if you want to get into that 50-50 game, it's kind of like, what position does the man have? Like, what position do you take? Do I take the heavier of the load, like the mortgage and all of the heavy bills, and you give the woman or the wife the gas, you know what I'm saying? Light stuff like that. And say, okay, cool. This is my burden. This is your burden, and we can agree on that. Um, or you have some women that are just like, I have my own bag. I don't want his bag. You know what I mean? He needs to have his own. I mean, it's a sticky situation when we're going back and forth with this whole. It's a money topic. So I think he who has the money has been deemed to have the power, and it's not really how it was set up, right? For supposed to be in a relationship or supposed to be married, definitely. Like at some point, we should be able to agree on certain things without it being a power struggle. And I don't even want to use the word submissive or submission because Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? I might get crucified right now, but
Mm-hmm.
there are things that come into play with that, and I think both people, the man and the woman, both have to be submissive to um, each other, so there's some kind of a balance. But again, it comes to communication.
Thank you, and I'm glad that you mentioned that because for me, you're a human being, you're a person.
Right.
So with this structure that is set up in Western society,
Yeah.
where it is the way that it is, and the man is paying for everything, but also with that same mentality, if I'm paying everything, then damn it, you better know how to cook.
You hear me?
I mean, it's gonna be steak and head every night.
Hey, listen. Even though we
Every
say
night.
that, right? No, I agree with you.
So
200%.
to me, it's just like, how does that make? I don't like just having that kind of power, or just something over any person. Like,
Right.
I wouldn't want a woman or any person to feel like that, like they don't have no kind of freedom, because of the strain, and the man is bringing in everything. I'm trying to, I want to treat people like treat you like a person, not a piece of property. And this business contract that is called marriage, ain't got nothing to do with love. Excuse me, I'm sorry, early in the morning. Ain't got nothing to do with love.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And just the way that things are set up is just not.
Well,
you
speak a very good point. So we're gonna ruffle some feathers and I like how you put that. The business contract of marriage, right? Because that didn't even exist until like 100 years ago, right? Where we're talking about go sign this piece of paper in front of said person, and now this thing binds you, not the actual act and the feeling of love, truly, right? So when you're talking about this relationship thing again, and then as far as marriage, as deep as marriage, it's like, what are your reasoning behind said? You want to get married for what reason to this person? And then one of the killer things that I think is so very important is for us men, and there are women out there who, especially right now in today's society, women are go-getters. So it seems to be a lot more.
Who are leading everything. Like,
exactly.
They're making more money. They are running.
Yes.
I mean, Beyonce said it 10 years ago, and it's prevalent today. Who run the world? Girls. Women are running the shit.
Killing it. So it makes it harder for an average man, right? To try to, if you're attracted to a woman that has a position of power or makes more money than you, it's harder. And I can't, obviously I'm not speaking for all women, right? Just in the generality, but it's a proven thing that it's harder for a man who doesn't make as much money, who isn't necessarily on her level, but might be a perfect fit for her to be able to accept him, because in her mind,
I wish I could have a woman on here. Like,
yeah, let's see you chime in. Huh?
Let's see how this works. Okay, so trial and error. This is my first time being. Let's see, invite somebody. I need a woman on here. Wait, first, let me ask the audience who is on. If you have a webcam, a female who is willing to come on here and chime in on this.
A couple.
Yeah. Okay. So listen. Copy. This is what I'm gonna do. I think I'll put the link in the comments. No, wait, that might be.
We would get bombarded.
That might be asking for trouble. Who said that they wanted to be on? Does anyone want to look? Somebody, KK. Yeah. You need it like now. Yes, KK, like now.
Yeah.
Look, you want to say this conversation? Yeah, exactly.
We want you, KK.
Yeah, hopefully you can. Let's see. Let's show some of these comments. What are y'all saying? Oh, you shouldn't have this on. Okay. My husband pays the rent. I pay the other bills and make sure we have the necessities at home. Right. That's how it was structured.
I love
That's
it.
how it's always been.
Right.
That's how it's always been. But today,
I like that one too.
it's a new kind of day. So what happens? What happens when you make more money than him?
Yeah. How does that work?
Is that still his responsibility or no? It's that's wild.
Glass half empty, right?
On the show, the power structure shifts from one week to the next. The guys have the power, the women have the power. Such as in life in these different generations, the men had the power, and now the women have the power. You know,
communication is definitely key. This
he
is
said,
true.
"I'm on you. What is this? I'm on YouTube. I got to go over to Facebook. No, I'm just going to send you. I would send you the link. So this is
KK says she gonna have some points.
I like that. Here, let me see if I can send you something personally.
Definitely interesting topic early in the morning.
Whoops. Let's see if that's it. Oh shit. Oh, wrong. Well, hell.
Got somebody, huh?
Well, there's the link. So there's the link. If you want to go ahead and chime in. Thank you all for being on
So patient
this morning. I really appreciate it. So much needs to be communicated prior to the marriage. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100% agree, Miss Berry.
If he handles the mortgage or rent, I'll be his support, not the other way around.
Man.
Okay. See what? Oh, sorry. They're having another conversation. Whoops, that was the wrong.
They're going hard.
Yeah, they talking about the show.
Yes, sir. Definitely. Hamilton is going in.
Yeah. So let's see. Does she gonna pull up? Well, y'all, I'll put the link out there. So, ladies, if you want to chime in on this, please click that link. Have it. You can use either. You can use your phone if you have a laptop. Make sure you're using Google Chrome or Mozilla. We need a part 2 on this. Claudette, you know I'm going to talk about this tonight inside the Quiet Storm. We're going to have conversations with KG on Facebook, and I'm going to tap y'all in. But this morning, it's wild. And I know that I'm looking cheap. You know, I know I may look like I get it. Like listen, I'm gonna die on this hill for the sake of entertainment. Like it doesn't bother me. Like I'm so unbothered. Like I'm really just taking it all in. Like I feel the love. A lot of the internet has my back. It's no problem. But I believe they have my back more so on how Naya flipped on me versus I think that helped, you know, a little bit. Well, as we wait for her to come in, somebody on Instagram made a comment on this post about something with Susie Orman, something about 47% and 53%. Are you familiar with this
ratio?
Yeah,
you have a ratio, but what does the percentage mean? I've not seen Susie Orman's this breakdown you're talking about.
Let me see here. I'm gonna find this comment. What a hole.
Why are you doing it? You put the link on the Facebook?
Yeah, I just put it in the comments there so they could.
So I have a few ladies. Ladies, go to the Magic 102 page and look for the link in the comments if you're seriously talking about it.
Queen of Hearts said, once I heard Susie Orman speak on this, first, have a joint account and separate accounts. Joint account for bills and joint for things like vacations, household things. Second, look at percentages. If total house income is 100K and you bring in 47% of that, then you pay 47% of the bills, and your partner who brings in 53% pays the 53. Makes sense to me. These women who want a man to pay everything while they too work are cray-cray. What would she do with her income? Long gone are the days when men made more money. Women are more educated. Women check 2 minority boxes and will likely get in the door a man cannot. Women tend to be threats to white America. Long are the days of women being housekeepers and nannies with a small income to a man with a trade. How we expect granny and pawpaw lifestyle, but we bringing in an income granny never did.
She makes valid points. I mean, the percentages that's something that I guess can be discussed, but if you're doing logically, if I only make this amount, then you could do that. But I don't know. I hear her comment. I'm not sure how many other women agree with that particular statement, but
yeah, I was looking at, I just saw the 53-47. I didn't notice she had went into that right there. As I said, my husband started doing the things 50-50, big mistake. His communication skills are 0. Oh, wow. So, then if he, if the 50-50 and the communication was bad, then like, so what? Like when he paid it all, like you balanced the checkbook, like you handled everything yourself. Oh, I believe I have Kay in the queue. You ready, Kay?
I don't know what I am, but I'm here.
All right.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Yeah, I'm blessed. How are you guys doing?
Doing well. Thank you for tapping in.
Thank you for having me. I was listening to you guys, and I said they need a woman's perspective. I mean, this is one side. This conversation ain't gonna be complete.
Please forgive me for just thinking. I was just like, let's just hurry up and do it. Like everybody talk about it. Like there's a lot of thought put into this, my darling. I just wanted to strike while people were still talking about it. But yeah.
And it's necessary. And it's actually a relevant conversation because finances are a huge part of a relationship. Okay. And they will make or break a relationship. And I think
you see that's the main reason for this high divorce rate.
Right.
Yeah, we have to have a meeting of the minds. And I think those conversations have to take place early so that you both can see where you are in your thought process, as you guys did on the show. And, I don't think you got an opportunity for you guys to really explore where your stance is and what you need to do and how you can come together. I think we all have ideas and thoughts of what we want in a relationship. But when you connect with someone, you might say, okay, well, I'll look at it from this perspective because I see, where you stand on that. You come to a compromise. And it's not that one man or one person's financial backing should go to taking care of both people in a relationship, because you both should come into the relationship equally whole. And I think sometimes people aren't ready to date. How about we just talk about that? Sometimes you have to get your shit together before you can be able to try to merge with someone and build something, or at least have an understanding of where you both are trying to go and what your long-term goals are going to be, so you can see if you guys are going in the same direction or not. Because some people don't treat money the same.
Right.
Some people don't. So I think it's really important for for you both to understand. I mean, if she's a spender, she doesn't like to save, you're going to see that early on. If he makes poor financial decisions and isn't responsible, you're going to see that early on too. So no one comes into the situation surprised about what finances should look like. You both should run your own households separately. And then when you meet each other, you come together to build and enhance each other's life. That's just my perspective.
That's best case scenario though, right? You're speaking on best case scenario. Right.
Well, whatever case scenario should it be? I mean, we're all adults. We should both come into the situation in a place where you can give instead of take.
Mm.
Okay.
Well,
I
I see
mean,
Zandra, who is
I don't
in.
live in any other way, so I can't. I don't visually see what other way you're referring. Either you come together as wholes, or you come together someone's broken, or both, and
Mm.
then
Right.
you're
Right.
trying to help repair the other person and build a relationship. And I don't think the focus should be on that. But
Mm.
again, you have some people that start careers and some people that are in college, so their finances, of course, in that
Right.
situation, I would say everyone isn't going to be equally yoked per se. But what's the goal? What's the mission? What are we working on? Where are we trying to head? If that's what you're referring to when it comes to looking at finances, with two people coming together, both not ready or able to financially support.
Mhm. Let me add Zandra to.
There we go.
Hey, how are you?
How you doing?
I'm good.
Y'all
Thank you.
okay?
Yes, ma'am.
So, give us your thoughts, my love.
I was the one who put the comment up about my husband having the zero communication skills.
Oh, okay, okay,
Um,
okay, okay. Yeah.
yeah, my main thing is to make sure that you and your mate are on the same page from the very
Mm.
beginning. Um, we started doing the 50-50 thing when we first met before we got married, and he has a one track mind. So
Mhm.
that's where we are now, 28 years later. And it in the beginning, he made the money because I was new to the relationship. But one thing that I was taught, I'd never ask a man for anything unless push come to shove. I don't believe in using men
Mhm.
for anything. I believe that if the man is taking care of the house, that woman should know how to. If the man is paying everything, if that woman's going to be at home, you know how to. You make sure you take care of the kids. You cook, you clean, you earn your keep. And that's how I was raised. Have that man's back, support him if he's a good husband. It took me 28 years to find out a lot of things about my mate that I'm unhappy about, especially with the finances.
Mm.
And so now we are in a lot of controversial issues right now. And because he has his name on a lot of stuff, guess what? It falls on me as well. But just like I said, the main point, have you and that mate, make sure your communication skills are golden. Make sure y'all, you're on the same page from the very beginning. Because
Yeah,
it only takes one person to mess up something, and I tell you, it's hell
right.
trying to get it cleaned up.
I think that
Um,
goes back to what Kay was saying. Like, you're going to see their financial patterns or how they handle and respect money.
Wait, it
Mhm.
took you 28 years to figure out that he was financially irresponsible.
It took me a while. We didn't know. Look, we didn't do too
I'm
much
just kidding.
dating
But
or
really,
anything like that. People put on a good front. Trust me.
girl, that's a lot of trust to put in one person to let them
Yeah,
control and
you're
manage
right.
all the
Now, now,
finances.
now, let me say this. Wait, what is your name? Is Kay? Let me say
Mhm.
Yes,
this.
ma'am.
The first
Yes,
10
ma'am.
years, we lived together. He was on point with everything. When we got married, that's when everything started to go downhill.
Oh, so
And
the
so
tie
it
broke
goes
in.
back to that. And and I
Yeah.
hear this a lot and I see this a lot. What is it about this paper and that ceremony that brings it down?
Man.
I don't really think that my husband was ready for a second marriage. This is my first marriage. And
After
I
10
tell you,
years
it
though?
has brought out the beast in me because a lot of stuff like that I know now about marriage, I didn't know because I had never been married. So now I'm finding out a lot of stuff, little by little, and I try to keep my marriage vows, for better or for worse, for richer or for poor, sickness and health. I try and do that. And I tell you, it's hell to do it.
So Miss Harper, I got
His
a
health to
question
do it.
for
He's a good father. Yeah, and he's a good husband. You know, we all human. There's a few issues. Like and I think what happened was when we lost our child back in 2012. It was just our daughter was brutally murdered, so it was a big a big traumatic situation right there. And it's just something that he's going through. And I'm not the type of person to like just leave him down. I'm supposed to be there as a wife and have his back. So
Miss Harper,
regardless
so
of what
was that 10 years in? You said I'm going back a little bit here. You said that you guys lived together 10 years before you got married, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Or
We
that's
live
correct,
together.
right? Okay. And then those 10 years of you all living together, the financial situations that were arising or the woes that happened after you got married, that none of that popped up in 10 years? Like you didn't see his habits or you know what I mean? In the time frame that y'all lived together first before you got married?
No, because he handled everything. And see, this was before I started working. And once I got a stable job and I started giving money, then that way because we needed a bigger place to live and stuff like that, and it took two incomes. And I don't believe he was ready, to take on that bigger situation because we went in a little small house. We raised our kids in a little, we went a room shotgun house, and I think he was in a comfort zone. So when when things got later on down the line, we moved and everything. I think that kind of took him out of his comfort zone, and I really don't think he was ready for that. He was.
Okay. Thank you so much.
I think that has a lot to do with it too.
I appreciate you tapping in, both of y'all, you and
thank you.
Kay. I'm reading these comments over here.
I have a question though for the gentleman before you dismiss us real quick from the call.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm not sure how you guys were gonna go into the topic or whatnot, but in looking at the situation, since this was something that came up on the show, what is your stance on two people coming into the household together and both equally being financially stable? Who's taking what bills? What is your stance, since this was a conversation on the mortgage and the bills? We got car notes, we have vacations. This is a relevant conversation and topic that comes up in the household, because the question becomes, well, is it a woman's responsibility to pay certain things? What is the man's responsibility? How do you save together? Do you save separately? Do you save jointly? Do you say, hey, I have my 50, you have your 50. When we need to come together and do something, just make sure your money ready. I mean, how do you guys, what is your thought process on merging finances and taking care of responsibilities in the home?
Okay.
Did you want to go first? Or?
Yeah, I'll jump in there really quick. So 50-50 is amazing. I think in lieu of your comment earlier, two whole people coming together to make one whole is, like that's why I said that it's the best case scenario. That's the way things are most oftentimes drawn up, right? But I also live in a reality. That's not a lot of times what happens. And I'm sure you have friends that didn't go into a relationship with coming in 100% whole and then her mate coming in 100% whole, right?
Right.
Okay, so I mean, if you guys get there, I get it, right? But coming back a little bit, I grew up in a household where the man was the breadwinner, not by force, but just by the nature, right? So I saw my old man take care of everything, and literally whatever my mother brought to the table was kind of extra. It could help here and there, or her play money for us as kids and herself, right? But the house was taken care of. To Miss Harper's point, I also saw my mother, because of this situation, she cooked. The house was clean. My old man never had to worry about dirty clothes. I mean, I saw that structure. But then, as progression happens, my mother worked. Good job. You know what I mean? Just like him. So now there's two people coming in, bringing the bacon home. Children are growing up, so food is getting cooked by us now, not necessarily my mother, right? So
Right.
I saw this in a perfect way. I'm okay with 50-50, as long as it's talked about. And I think everybody's comment so far is about communication. If I'm coming into the game and we're talking, and you know that this is the scenario, as long as we agree on that, I'm okay with. If we're at a place where we need to discuss bills, and you come into the table with your money, and I'm coming to the table with my money, we can have that discussion on who you think should handle what. But right now, in today's time, more women are bossing up and having more income than some of the men, right? And so now that puts the challenge on the woman's state of mind and the man's state of mind, because now, unless that conversation has already been had and that woman has made that man feel secure, even though she's the breadwinner, you know what I mean? You can have a stable relationship, but I think a lot of times for men that don't make as much money as their woman, it makes the man feel insecure. And then, even if he's not, I'm not an insecure person. However, you're right. We're just talking about generalities. It can make the man feel insecure now.
Well,
That
no, hold on, no. What makes him feel insecure is that he needs to level up. His situation and his stance is what it is, regardless of whether or not she mentions it to him or not. You know, if you only make 15,000 a year and your lady make 80,000, you know, if you insecure about that, then you already know what that financial bracket is when you enter into the relationship.
you just made a
So
good point.
don't feel insecure about something that you own when you know what it is when you walk in the door. I mean, you can't make someone feel anyway without them allowing themselves to feel that way first. So
Point.
if I
But
don't
listen to what you just
feel
said.
adequate, I gotta
If you
level
come
up.
into the relationship and the woman is making 80 and the man is making 15, that woman already knows what this
Both of
man is
them
making.
know. Both
Okay.
of them know. So it's no surprise. I'm not gonna take one side and say, oh,
All
it's
right.
both. Both of you know when you pick your mate, you're aware or you'll become aware of where they are in life and whether or not that's something you can handle. And that's just how I look at it. Sometimes we want to force people, and this is something I stopped doing. We want to force them to be something that we have a vision of. Because in our mind, that vision looks so good. But
Yeah.
what if that person can't and is not willing to be that? You know what I
Man.
mean? Sometimes we want people to be molded into what we want them to be instead of accepting them for how they are. And if we can't, then we have to make adult decisions and say, I can't force this person to be more than what I want them to be.
That's very
And when
real.
it comes to finances, I think that's a very important conversation early because, if I'm putting money in to help save and build something, and I see you
Right.
making frivolous decisions, that's not going to work for me long term because either way, there's going to be a lack in that relationship if you're not doing your part to keep it
So it seems like the
sustained.
bottom line here is it boils down to individuality and what one's expectation is. Kay, if two people are
Yeah,
coming
and thank
in,
you for having me.
you're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. I think if both are coming in equally, that's just the conversation. Me being the man, I'm just going to ask, as I learned from the ladies on the show, what are your expectations? What are your expectations? I keep seeing comments over here about, leading and the man is supposed to lead. And I guess that whole lead comment
Traditional.
that they on the show that they edited, that lead comment, that was a whole nother separate conversation that they just edited into that. But let me give y'all a reminder. I did lead on the show. If you want to go back, if you need to go back and watch a few episodes, I mean, you saw that I was leading the entire time. The date, how I carried myself, like I did lead. She gave me props on that. So this whole idea that now all of a sudden that I'm not a leader, I've been leading the whole time. It's just, you know, there's this faux pas in this whole financial talk, but it's television.
There you go.
It's TV.
There you go.
TV. But thank everyone who came on. Ryan, I know you
Yes, sir.
plug your book, my G.
Getting Things Done, available everywhere. You can go to ryanknowsbest.org and pick it up. You can pick up my other book, and all things Ryan Akers, ryanknowsbest.org.
Indeed. And to the Majic family, man, thank y'all for tapping in earlier this morning. You know, I mean, early this morning. Well,
Definitely.
not early, but like people are working and stuff, and y'all want to have y'all want to talk about that. Comments lit. This will be on. This is going to be on YouTube, and I'm gonna save it. But I'll see y'all tonight on the radio. Yeah. So thank you, Ryan. Once again,
I appreciate it too, man. Yes, sir. Oh, IG. Only Ryan Knows Best is my Instagram. Only Ryan Knows Best.
Only Ryan Knows Best, man.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Akers, man. Appreciate you, G.
Yes,
and
sir.
Majic family. Glad y'all tapped in. Now I gotta go get a COVID test. For real. I gotta go get a COVID test. So I will see y'all later.